Grand Rising, or actually Grand Afternoon, at least for the East Coast, because on the West Coast it's 9 o'clock, but here on the East Coast it's 12. So um, it's Wipeout Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and you know what time it is. My name is Dr. Lynn Dunn. I'm a doctor of metaphysics, and I am a practitioner with the Anu practice. And I come on every Friday. Ooh, I come on every Wednesday around between 11 and 12 o'clock. And I do what is called Wipeout Wednesdays. What is Wipeout Wednesday? Wipeout Wednesday is I normally take something that has occurred in my life or presented itself during the week, and I work on wiping it out. And so in the process of wiping it out, I also bring in what I'm going to replace it with, because my thought is, if you take that away, then what are you going to have? So I replace it with something, and I come up live and I share it. And I share it, and then I challenge or ask you, what is something that maybe you need to wipe out or revamp? So sometimes it's not so much that I wipe it completely out, I just revamp it. So that's what I do. Got a lot of things going on in our household, a lot of changes going on. So I don't plan to be on here too long because I got to get going on some of this stuff. So I'll start. If you're watching it on the replay, welcome. But here it goes. So the title for this week is I Said No. And what that means for me is, so Sunday, I was riding with one of my sons. We were going to get something to eat. And I kept having this feeling like I was mad. And I was trying to work myself out of this madness. I'm like, why am I mad? Like, things, like, I should be happy. I do self-talk every morning, and I speak, I'm happy, I'm peace, I'm love, I'm joy, all that. But why am I mad? Like, something's not setting right. And shortly after that, I got this feeling of, you're mad at yourself. And I was like, myself? And I was like, yeah, you're mad at yourself. So I'm like, well, what am I mad at myself about? Like, I've done a lot of healing. And I've done that in the last year and a half, a lot of it with the Anu practice. And it's been awesome. So I'm sitting there asking myself, like, why am I mad? Hey, Danetta. So that's what I was starting to question myself. Like, why are you mad? Why are you upset? And what I came to realize was that I was mad at myself or angry with myself because for so many years, I have placed myself last in a lot of situations. I'm always the one usually that says, oh, no, you go ahead. Even the simplest thing of, if me and someone else is walking into a building, be it male or female, I'm usually saying, oh, no, you go first, and that type of thing. But as I've been working, through my through the classes, through my doctoral, all of that, I have declared that I no longer want to put myself last, like loving on myself first, serving from my overflow, and all of that. And so it took me back to realizing, like, for so many years, I did not do that. I didn't put myself first. I always made myself last. I made sure that everybody else was taken care of before me. So I was having this moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm mad at myself for doing that. But once I said it and got it out, I started working through, saying, no, no, you're worthy. You're okay. You can do this. It's not bad for you to put yourself first. And you are in a space where that was your program, and that's what you thought. You thought that no was a bad word. So I had no as the bad word, yes is the good. And the two never interchanged or anything. So for me, anytime I heard no, I immediately went and associated that with something bad. When I heard yes, I associated that with good. But as I've been going through my healing, I've learned that no, not so much. And I'm working to revamp that. Hey, Renee. Hey, Cheryl. So that's what I have worked through that. And hey, Joanne. And I had gotten into a space of going, okay, Lynn, yeah, that was something from the past. You didn't know any better at that time, or you wasn't addressing things that way. So now that you're aware of that, it's okay. Forgive yourself. Let it go, and now move on into what you know now and enjoy that. So that's what I was doing. Well, I don't know if you caught last week's The Birds, where I had this whole realization with these birds on my porch. So this week, again, as I was going out for a walk, I had another experience with nature that kind of intertwined this whole thing of no, and no representing something bad. And what happened was, so I'm out doing my walk, and I get up to the top of our subdivision. This is the same walk I do all the time, year round, nothing's changed. And usually the times that I go, there's usually not a lot of people out and about. And if there are, we wave at each other and we keep it moving. Some people sometimes are on out with their dogs on their leash and stuff. And as we approach each other, they'll pull the leash back so that I can walk by, and so on and so forth. But usually there's nothing going on. So this particular morning, after I had this discussion with myself about the whole no thing, I'm coming back home. And as I'm coming back home, I can see in the distance, I saw 2 white pit bulls. And so I said, oh, somebody must be, but I couldn't see the owner. So I'm like, where are the owners? And where are the leashes? Because I'm looking for the leashes. Well, there were no leash and there were no owners out there. So I stood there, and when I stopped, they stopped. And they looked at me, I looked at them. And so I was far enough where it wasn't, at that point, I felt like it wasn't a threat for me or anything. So I started doing my walkthrough. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep walking? Are you going to go back the other way? Which, me going back the other way would have taken me out of our subdivision. I would have had to walk along the main street, a road, which doesn't have a sidewalk, and then come through the back way of my subdivision to get back to my house. Or plan B, because I had my phone, because I listen to music while I walk, was plan B, call my son and say, come get me. So I'm standing there, and I turn around and I start walking back up the hill, like to do the long walk. And something said, no, stop. And I'm like, okay. And said, just give it a minute and look. So I stopped and I looked, and sure enough, the dogs had went back into the bushes. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk, I'm going to cross the street, and I'm going to walk back down, and because they're in the bushes, hopefully they've just went on and gone. So I start making the walk. When I get close to where the dogs were, I'm just passing it, and I'm saying to myself, okay, see, this is good. Okay. Well, one of the dogs came out the bush. And so he comes out the bush, and I'm like, oh. And there was this electrical box. It wasn't high. It was enough that I had assessed that quickly that I could jump on that box and be safe from him. But something said no. And I said, because if you jump on that box, you're giving him your power. you're showing him that he has the power. And I said, well, I don't want to give my power because that's what I've been working on. I'm not giving my power to nobody. I'm not giving my power to nobody. So I didn't jump on the box. And I yelled to him. I said no. And so he looked at me and I said, yes, I said no. I'm walking. I'm just going ahead and doing my walk. I'm not bothering you. So no. So he like, I said no. And so I said, I'm not playing with you. I said no. So I started back walking. Well, he crosses the street and I turned around and I said, I'm not playing with you. No. And then he didn't move and I made it back home. And I felt so much power. I felt like, oh man, I did it. But then quickly I asked myself, I said, now what was that for? Because I had done that walk a million times. No dogs had ever come out or anything. And I was like, what was that for? And so what I gathered from it and what I heard for myself is that you use no in a good way. And it didn't harm anybody. It helped you. And I was like, hey, that's right. Because had I not said no, whatever, who knows what would have happened? I don't know. I also felt like it wasn't so much my words, because as far as I'm concerned, dogs and us, we don't communicate. Like, he barks. So if he would have been bark, 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 I wouldn't have known what he was saying to me, but I could have felt what he was feeling. So we were speaking to each other on a emotional level. And so I felt like, yeah, he knew that I was not playing. I meant no. Like, he knew that regardless to the words, he knew in me that I was like, no, not today. So he left me alone. So that led me to say to myself, like, what else? Again, usually when these things happen, I go, what else is this sprinkling into the rest of my life? And I realized that was the big part of, I didn't value my no in these years. And as I was growing up and because I wasn't valuing or trusting in me. I was putting myself last. But as I've made this declaration of, I'm no longer, hey, Karen, I'm no longer going to do that. I feel like this event presented itself to show me like, okay, well, now you have to change how you value no. Like, no doesn't have to only represent bad. It can also and it must represent good. Like, and then it took me to a Renee, a reflection of me. Then I figured it out. Yeah, because then when I looked and then I realized that yes can also have a bad or good, depending on what situation it is in. Because in those situations where, like those times when somebody needed my help and I really was tired, but I said yes, because I didn't want to hurt anybody. I was wanting them to like me. I was valuing them more than me. That was really hurting me. So in that scenario, yes was not a good thing. But yet, growing up, I always thought yes is good, bad is no. But what this thing with the dog showed me was that no was good for me in that situation. I stood my ground. I held my power. And because of that, with the word no. And because of that, I made it home. And it was so funny because when I was replaying this and thinking about it and was telling my sons about the whole thing, I even realized that plan C or 3, which was call my son and have him come get me with the car, wasn't even an option because I had taken the keys with me that day. So that one wasn't even a valid option for me. But like I said, it taught me, that experience helped me to realize that, yeah, No is just as powerful as yes. And no and yes can be either good or bad, depending upon how I interpret it. And so I'm releasing myself. I'm wiping out that aspect. I'm wiping out the idea that no is only for bad things. Good, yes is only good for good things. And I'm replacing it with, yeah, it just is. Like no and yes, depending upon the situation and me, can be good or bad. So, what is something that maybe, I mean, or even how you value no? Like, how do you value no? You know, I just shared how I value no, and from my past and from past experiences, and what I'm wiping out and changing. So, what's something that, I mean, like, yeah, how do you value no? That's the question of the week. And you can share it in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, still share. Because I enjoyed looking at it, and I think, you know, if it could help somebody, then also share it on your page, send it to a friend, because, you know, that's what this thing is all about for me and the new practice. And yeah, we do some amazing things at the new practice, and it's a group of people that have come together, and under the mentorship of Dr. Nataria New, and she has created this space where we come together and we share and we heal, and we get rid of those things that just are blocking. We find out those things that are blocking us from getting to our happy, and we do the work in removing them. And that's done through classes, that's done through spiritual hearings, that's done through self-talk. So I advise you to go on to the page. Where's the page? It's www.doctanu.com or theanupractice.com. You can go to either place to just check it out, and if anything resonates with you. We also have self-talk Monday through Friday at around 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can go on Facebook, because it comes up on Facebook, and that's on the A New Practice page. Or you can follow my page, and you can follow my page, and you'll know when we pop on, and you can more than welcome to join us. You can join the tribe by going to the pages that websites that I gave you earlier, www.theanewpractice.com. And yeah, so we also have what I'm doing, because I'm a practitioner, and we have Monday through Friday also on our individual pages. The practitioners and the ambassador come on their pages around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we share. We share different things. So on Mondays, we have Dr. Wendy Wynn, and she talks about self-care. She gets you pumped and motivated for the rest of the week. And then we have on Tuesdays, we have Ambassador Mary. She has cards, and you come in and she'll pull a card for you and share some inspiration. Hey, Dottie. We also have, Wednesdays is me, Wipeout Wednesdays. And what I do is normally I take something that I've discovered no longer serves me, and I wipe it out, or I refresh it or reframe it, and I replace it with something new that works better for me. On Thursdays, we have Dr. Anu, our mentor, and she's what I call the wow card, because she's amazing. But she gives something all the time, and you never know what it's going to be, but you know it's going to be something good. And then on Fridays, we have Dr. Tiff, and she does Feel Good Fridays. Hey, Yolanda. And she, she takes you through steps of an event or something that she's become aware of in herself, and she walks you through how to get out of it and feel good. And then that usually takes you through the weekend, and then boop, we right back on Monday and we start this thing all over again. So I was reading, Renee said, no, for me can be tricky. It could be no at this time or absolutely no, etc. Yeah, it's I'm discovering that through my upbringing, I was taught to believe, or I took on the belief that no was bad, yes was good, and that the two could not change. But I'm learning that depending upon the situation, depending upon what it is, that no is awesome and yes could be horrible, and vice versa. Like I said, for a long time, there were things as far as emotional time, money, just time in general, that sometimes I didn't have it, or I didn't want to per se do it. But because of my feeling of, I don't want to let somebody down, I don't want to disappoint somebody, I don't want somebody to be mad at me, I don't want somebody to, so on and so on and so on, devaluing myself, I would say yes to things. And so in that state, I'm realizing that, yes wasn't so good. I should have said no. And what this dog experience helped me and allowed me to understand that, no is just as powerful as yes, and not a bad thing at all times. So that's what I'm saying. It's a thing of, what does no mean to you? Like, are you holding the same beliefs as me, that no only holds the space of bad? Or you like, no, I've always known that and I've been okay with it, and I have no problem with saying no. Because I know when I'm saying no, sometimes it's for the love of me. So share. I also asked you to share the video. It may help somebody else. But again, like I said, that's this week's Wipeout Wednesday. Let's see. Dottie said, yes, I have learned how to say no, and it has taken me to high places, and I'm no longer the yes man. LOL. Yes, Dottie. Thank you. Yes, that is me as well. I am learning to, and I'm even learning that I've done a good job. I'm proud of myself, but it's still a big thing with me and my sons, and so I am working on that as well. It was easier for me to do it with people outside of my home, but I am now saying it within my home as well. Just change altogether. Like I said, I am speaking through self-talk. I'm saying to myself, I am peace, I am love, I am happiness, I am joy, I am wealthy, I'm serving from my overflow. I'm no longer, what's in my cup is in my cup. So in order for that to occur, in me changing some situations that just have been because of old programming and old thinking, I haven't felt safe or secure in using no. But no more. I will be using no in however I need to use it, and no longer just thinking it's a bad thing. If I'm tired, somebody asks me, can you? No. And that doesn't mean that I don't love them. That doesn't mean I don't care for them. That doesn't mean any of that. But what it does mean is that I love me, and I'm allowing me to have me time. And me saying yes. If it's gonna have me to say yes to something that I really don't want to do, or I'm just not in that space or place at that time, then I won't say yes. But I'm not switching it and now saying, okay, now no is good and yes is bad. No. Each one will be used for when it needs to be used and how it needs to be used. I'm taking off the restriction, the limit on both of those words. So that's what Wipeout Wednesdays is this week. I'll be back next week around this time again from around 11 or 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, like I said, share in the comments. Also, I am a certified life coach. I am a doctor of metaphysics. And so, yeah, if you are ready and wanting to remove things out of your life that no longer serve you, and you want to get to the core of what it is so that you can remove it and then work on replacing it with something that better suits you, hit me up in the messages, and I'd be more than happy to work with you. If I personally do not resonate with you, no worries. We have a team at the A New Practice, a team of awesome, amazing life coaches, doctors, and they are ready and willing to help you. And I'm sure you go on, and whoever resonates with you, then hit them up. I mean, because that's what this is all about. This is about knowing better, doing better. That's what this is, knowing better and doing better. So I will see you next week. I thank you for listening in. I thank you for sharing the video. And again, my question to you is, how do you view no? Like, is no, it just is what it is, and I use it when I use it, or no is a bad word, and yes is the good word? Yeah. How do you view it? So I will see you next week. Hope to see you tomorrow on Self Talk. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, not Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time. And so join in. What is self-talk, if you're asking? I just remembered I'm saying self-talk, but I didn't tell you what it is. Self-talk is when we come together as a group and we speak the words to ourselves from ourselves, and we express what our souls are saying to us. And we encourage each other, we support each other, but it's in a safe environment where you speak the words to yourself that you need to hear from yourself. And it's an amazing thing. I love it. I've been doing it for 1.5 years. I started off not saying a word and just kind of sitting in the cut and listening. But look at me now. I'm on Facebook hosting a show, a live every Wednesday. That was the results of self-talk. Me speaking to myself and getting to where I needed to be and wanted to be. So I encourage you to do the same. Hey, Loretta, that's my workout. That's my workout buddy. And I'll see her tomorrow in the morning at 5 a.m. Yes, we get up at 5 a.m. and work out, but it's worth it. And Yolanda said, beautiful. So glad for you. Proud of you. Oh, thank you, Yolanda. Love you, lady. And and I just got a message. I'm gonna see Lauren next week. Not next week, next month. And I'm so excited she's gonna come. But yeah, so that's what it is. Loretta, I'm ending. I've gotten to the end, but please listen back. Oh, thank you, Loretta. Thank you so much. So yeah, so look back on the video, and it explains the whole story of why I said no. Yeah, Renee said, quiet, Lynn, you were. Yes. Like if you look back on some of the old videos under the A New Practice, you 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't see me. So, or not very often, I'll say. But so self-talk works. So I encourage you to do it. Even if you don't do it live, watch it, learn how to do it, and then do it in the privacy of your own home. That's what I did for a long time. So again, I love you all. I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for coming in and listening. Like I said, share. If you think this is something that can help someone else, then share. And I will see you all next week. Love you. Bye. Bye. Oops.